Hi, everybody. This is Christopher Chapman. I was one of those people who isn't really in your classroom, but I was online most of this semester. I'm one of those lucky few who actually works at a child care center and got to do their placement hours at my actual job, so that was fantastic. I want to talk a little bit about what I did this year for my presentation. My placement setting is my job at SUNY Cortland Child Care Center. The center is basically in the center of the SUNY campus and contains 7 classroom and nearly 20 staff members, which I myself am part of. The room I choose to share about, in a sense, because I did a lot of rooms, so I'm gonna kind of share about a few of them. But the room I spend most of my time in is infant 2 with the babies. Our children range between 2 to 17 months. And although it's very seldom, there are up to 8 kids in a room at a time. I want to show you, if I can, the room looks like. I can't. Okay. So this is, I guess, the best representation of what the classroom looks like. Hope you can see this all right. I know, I wish I could switch my phone to show you this, but basically we have our crib section over here. We have our rug placed with toys on shelves, our rocking chair, and our diaper changing table room over here. This isn't perfect representation of what my room is, but it's 95% of that. Just the dimensions are a little different. All right. And so what I want to do this year is just tell you a little bit about my observation project. So I did it in infant 2. My observations, however, I want to share are very, very funny. I want to talk about my second observation with my one of our kids, Elliot. My observation took place in PS1, which is preschool 1, which are the 3-year-olds, the first class they go to after they're infant or after they're toddlers. So Elliot is 3 years old. He's one of our non-sleepers, and so I took this observation between 1:29ish and about 1:40 something. Let me see if I wrote down the exact time. About 1:40 in the afternoon, and our nap time is typically between 1 and 3, and so Elliot is a non-sleeper, and so usually that's never a problem. So he just lays on his mat. He's fairly calm. He's fairly collected, and he's he's not causing a ruckus or noise that wakes his friends up. He mostly just lies there, fine. But today was a fire drill day. Now, because we have our fire drills at nap time, we had very little reason to get all the kids napping at that point, but we still did. I took measures to film our response to the fire drill so we could, learn more and get better at responding to our fire drills, see how quick we are to react. I started recording it not knowing exactly when the fire drill was going to happen. And so I put the camera on my phone here, the exact same place that Elliot's mat is on. So it's a shelf right above Elliot's mat. So I placed it, I started recording thinking I'll probably get like a couple minutes of nothing until the fire alarm sounds. So of course we're sitting there for a little bit. We're sitting there a little bit. I take time to, observe Elliot. And so the fire drill happens about halfway through my observation. But Elliot is on his mat for most of nap time. This is my observation start. He rocks back and forth in a lying down position. He unwraps his blanket several times over him as if to get comfortable, even though he's very aware that he's not going to sleep. To keep a record of how... Oh, yeah, I already wrote this part. The fire drill was about 5 minutes into me filming our response. So after the 5 minutes was up, I looked back. Elliot went back to his carpet, or his mat, sorry. He folded himself underneath the mat, and he went back. It was very odd because he usually is, peeking out and, just kind of looking, observing what the teachers are doing during nap time. So my observation ended about, a couple minutes before the fire alarm went off. I didn't realize that when I went to my video and looked at our response that there was a good 4 to 5 minutes of Elliot dancing into the video. And I wish so much that I could share the video with you, but it would go against our rules of, sharing videos with kids, and it's just so funny. He pops up like this. And he's dancing to the music because at nap time we have music, but today it was Luke Combs, or that day it was Luke Combs country music. Don't ask me why, just cause. And so he's dancing to it, and it's very, very funny. But yeah, my observation went back in, and I couldn't understand when I was observing him why he was kind of hiding and he wasn't showing himself to me while he was on his mat, because I expected him to do something, thus the observation. Come to find out that he thought I was gonna be mad about him dancing in front of the camera, but it was all in good fun. Yeah, PS1 was one of my favorite rooms. In the anti-bias terms of our classroom is that our room had a lot of diversity, infant too, but as well as all the other rooms in our center. The diversity consisted of we have several children of either biracial family members. We have half white, half Hispanic. We have half black, half white. We have a few children whose parents are from Eastern Europe or Germany, Moldova. We have 2 little girls whose parents are from Africa, so they're first generation Americans, and so they bring a lot of their culture to our classroom. So when we had 2 little girls in PS3, it's preschool 3, Shania and Audrey, they spoke only French to start out with, and they spoke a little bit more English and a little bit more English as the year went on, so that was really great to see. We have in infant 2, our class is full of pictures of of the most diverse imagery you could ever imagine. We have children, adults, and there's just people of all cultures, all heritages, and we also have something I'm very happy to say is that we have a lot of our dolls don't just show racial diversity. They also show we also have handicapped and people of have a very limited mobility. We have crutches, wheelchairs, canes, braces, which you don't see a lot. We also have a child in one of our rooms who has earplugs because he's partially deaf. So with that classroom, I believe has a little map over it with a picture of a boy who has a similar hearing disability, and it's very nice to be able to see that those kids see the similarities. They see that is me. That is they're reaching to understand that that is me shown. That's me. That's my demographic, expressed and shown here, and they appreciate it. Even as very young kids, I can tell that they very appreciate, that they're how they look is shown in their classroom. That's something that's very important. Yeah, I was very lucky to be able to do it here at my work, and I want to just say something from my autobiography assignment here that this is the most I've ever gotten from a job, most enjoyable time I've ever had a job, and being able to do this class, I was able to really not necessarily broaden my understanding, but it kind of added substance to what I already understood as being a child care provider. I wasn't very educated about the different theories, the different Montessori and John Dewey and Piaget and all those guys and girls about so many different kinds of child rendering and early childhood education, even 150 years ago. And I think it's amazing that even then we were able to understand that there's so much more and so many different paths we can take rather than what we kind of show now in other schools. I've never gotten this much from a job. I believe that helps more when it comes to caring for children. So my goal, after having this classroom isn't clear or set in stone. I appreciate the Montessori methods. I appreciate the work and ideas of John Dewey. I'm not sure I have a necessarily grasp on any psychological or philosophical understanding of how to render kids and how to help kids and how to teach them. But this class has definitely given me the groundwork, the footing to continue this. I guess what I want each child I care for, whether it be long term or short term, is that they take a certain level of care from me, a certain level of trust, a certain level of confidence, and a good deal of push. And I know that my experience in this class has provided that foundation. So I thank you. I wish I could give you my, a real presentation in person, but this will have to do for now. So thank you very much for having me in this classroom this year. Hope you all have a great summer.